Houston, we have a problem. So everybody, we're back working on another Forester. I love these things. This might be a sign that I just want one for myself, but we've got another one today. Got this one for really cheap, and I'm starting to tear it apart, and we've got a little bit of an issue. That's what today's video is going to be about. This one isn't about rebuilding the whole thing or the process or anything like that. I specifically wanted to make this video for what I'm about to show you guys. So let's check it out. So as you can see, I've got the whole manifold off, and that's because I am pretty positive I'm going to have to pull this engine out. So I'm going to do that right after this. But as you can see here, I've got my breaker bar on the crank, and normally you can just kind of give it a little force and it'll turn over by hand. But when I give it a little force, it does not move at all. So from that being said, the engine is seized. So what I'm going to have to do is pull the engine, and since I can't rotate it, I'm going to have to pull the torque converter with the motor. But since this engine is seized, that's what I'm going to be doing in this video, is pulling it out, tearing it down, pulling off the oil pan, and going through with you guys probably what caused it to seize, what's messed up inside the block, if the block is salvageable, what we're going to need to do to fix it, if we can, and then hopefully go from there. So this will just be kind of like a follow me along while I figure out what's wrong with this engine. And if you guys are interested in why these EJ motor is seized, definitely follow this video and let me know what you think. So as I'm taking this thing apart, pulling the bell housing bolts off, we've got a little bit of a discovery. I want to see if you guys can see it in this picture in the frame right now. If you can, comment down below. Oof. I'll give you guys 5 seconds to see if you can find it. Nothing? Well, we call that a rod window. Yeah, boys. We cut those into blocks so we can see right down in there. A little inspection window. Obviously, I'm joking. As I feared, I think this lady ran this motor for a long time with no oil. So, the rod shot through the top of the block. I've seen that done on really high horsepower builds with overboost and stuff like that. But, there you go. It's got a hole from here all the way back here. So I'm going to take this off and I'll show you guys what we find, and then we're going to get underneath the car. I'm going to get a light under there, and we're going to pull the drain plug, and we're going to see how much oil this thing has in it. I'm going to assume probably none. Okay, so here we are under the car. We're going to pull this drain plug and see just how much oil was left in this bad boy when everything went down. I'll show you guys just how full the drain pan gets. It's empty right now. I'll show you guys how full it gets, if at all, once we're done. Oh, that is straight coolant. That's coolant in there, like not even contaminated coolant. That's 100% green coolant. And here comes the milk. Holy cow. Well, I'm glad you guys experienced that with me. That was awesome. So, we might have more issues than we were expecting. Yeah, so I took that crossover pipe off. Let me take you guys back up top and I'll show you just how big that hole actually was. There you go, guys. Nice big viewing window for your connecting rods. I would say that's probably 4 inches across. That's a massive hole. So obviously this girl that I bought this from had a lot more problems than she even knew about. That's why you always check your oil, ladies and gentlemen. especially on these Subarus. Well, here's the answer to that. Let's get this bad boy pulled out, and I'll come back to you once we get to the next stage. Anybody want some pine cones? Alright everybody, so since the engine is seized, I can't turn it over to get the flywheel bolts out, so I'm going to have to pull the torque converter out with the engine. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull it out by ourselves. If not, I'll get my dad in here. Alright, well I pretty much got it out. There's two lines still connecting it to the transmission. I think they're transmission cooler lines. I've never seen them before. I'll show you guys in just a second what I'm talking about, but we're gonna disconnect those and hopefully just pull it right out. Alright everybody, it is the next day. I told you guys I would show you guys those two little hoses that I was talking about, but the camera died and it was getting late last night anyways, so I just called it a night. But as you can see, I don't know if I showed you guys this already, but the engine's pretty much out. Let's come over here. I'll show you guys these guys right here. They're connected to the motor, I guess, and to what looks like maybe the transmission or something. So I'm going to take those off, and once I get it all out and figured out and everything, I'll let you guys know exactly what they are. But it should take me just a couple seconds to disconnect those, and I should be able to pull the motor out. Don't think I'm going to be able to put it on the engine stand because the torque converter is still attached to it, but we will figure that out in a minute, and I will come back to you guys and let you know what I end up doing with that. Not sure yet, but let's get this out. Well, sorry for the light, guys. I couldn't take the engine out without moving the light, but it's out now. As you can see, it's on the hoist. So if we spin it around, yay, there's the torque converter. And I can't spin the engine over, obviously, because it's seized, to get the torque converter off. And if I can't get the torque converter off, I can't put it on the engine stand. And I currently have the hoist bolted to the heads. So I got to take it off the hoist and put it on the ground to take the heads off. I'm going to actually start tearing everything down. As you can see, the space in here is a little tight, but I'm going to start by taking off the heads on both sides and probably taking off the oil pan. Hopefully, if I can do it without making a mess. But we're going to get those things off. We're going to see what the inside looks like. If I can get it cleaned out and get everything kind of, mainly if I can get it cleaned out and all the chunks out of everything, then hopefully I can get it unseized and get it to actually turn over. So let's get it torn apart, see what's inside, and hopefully we can turn this over because I really want to be able to salvage this torque converter. If not, I'll have to buy a new one or buy one from the junkyard, and you guys know how that goes. So let's tear it apart, see what the inside looks like, and then we'll go from there. I've kind of set you guys up to reveal with me this this side of the engine. So let's go ahead and pull this head off, and we'll see what we see on the inside. Cylinder 1 looks, or the piston looks pretty good. Cylinder 3, the piston looks pretty good as well. The valves, probably a little bent, as you can see here. Well, you guys probably can't see that, but I can see quite a gap between those, the valve and the head itself. So those are probably going to need to be rebuilt, but that's not the biggest of our worries. So I think let's go ahead and pull the other side off, and we'll see what we can find. All right, I'm going to put you guys at a little different angle so we can really see into the cylinders on this side too. Let's go ahead and take this one off and see if there's any visible damage to the pistons. Can't forget the oil dipstick. Oh, there's the reveal, guys. Can you guys see that? Yep. Let's get a couple close-ups on that. So that cylinder and piston is just destroyed. We'll get a closer look in just a second. There is the head. The valves surprisingly don't look bent. Yeah, you guys can see how bad it is. I don't need to explain anything. That's crazy. Wild stuff, bros. Oil pan is off. Figured I'd show you guys after I took the baffle and pickup tube off. Show you guys exactly what I found down in here in the good old block. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not focusing very well, but there's your blowed out rod. It's pretty awesome. Don't think I've ever seen anything this severe. Definitely let me know what you guys think of this, and how long do you think she drove it? Let me know down in the comments. Well, there you have it, boys. Not sure what the exact cause was. Probably just running really low on oil. Looks like cylinders 3 and 4 kind of just shot up into outer space. So this motor is condemned. I'm going to see tomorrow if I can get my really stubby 1/4 inch drive ratchet to try and get these bolts off the torque converter. If not, I'll just have to get another one of those. There you guys have it. Obviously it's not going to spin over. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can get it to spin over or how I can get that torque converter off, definitely let me know. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys for this video. It's not going to be a build or anything. Just to update you guys really quick before I end this video. As you can see, I mutilated this guy pretty good. But I kind of had to because everything was so seized. So, got out the angle grinder. Cut up quite a bit of stuff. But I was able to split the block and get the torque converter out. I saved it. And looks like I saved the flywheel as well. So, split the block. I had to cut it apart to get to the bolt behind the flywheel. You guys will probably know which one I'm talking about, but I did it. Let me know if you guys want to see me completely rebuilding another engine for this car. I can go through basically anything you want. So if that's something you guys are interested in seeing, maybe like an ASMR kind of thing, but I'm going to be building a completely new block for this thing and sending the heads to the machine shop to see if they're salvageable, get rebuilt if they are. If not, I have another pair of heads that can be rebuilt for this. But that's going to do it. I'm just going to salvage a few more parts off of this for the other engine, and we're basically going to call it there. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys found this either informational or just entertaining. To me, I pretty much knew the motor was condemned, so to me it's just entertaining to see really how bad it was and what exactly happened. So Hopefully you guys enjoyed, found it helpful, A, B, C, and D. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I have tons of car content coming. Like the video if you found it, either one of those things, helpful or entertaining. Share it with your friends, your Subaru friends. Make sure everybody checks their oil often. But that's going to do it, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.